All right, so we got to talk about Ultimate Wolverine because this issue here by Chris Condon, the Ultimate Phoenix, got released, and boy, did she light some things up. So this right here is following up the opposition. Wolverine's friends here all being massacred by the Cerebon. Now in the opening here, what we see is the skies over Moscow with Wolverine and the Sentinel-1 flying over it. And the narration here by Wolverine starts out by saying this: deja vu, that's what they call it. Keep feeling like I'm living the same day again and again, same nightmare. Every time I feel that I get on top, something comes and smacks me back down. It's like the universe is against me, telling me to sit down and shut up. But me, I've never cared much for being pushed around, told what to do or who to do it for. Guess it's just in my nature. And there ain't no one left but me and the bucket of boats, so it's up to me to call the play. So it's here where Ultimate Wolverine's like, cover me, as his narration continues on by saying, the guy with the bad temper, the guy with the knives in his knuckles, the guy with an axe the size of the Republic to grind. Sounds familiar? Reminds me of something me and Victor used to say, same-ish, different day. Guess it's my MO, so here I go again. Deja vu coming right at you. So what happens next here is that we slip over to see Dr. Prostovich and Dr. Lysenko, who are currently arguing over the Phoenix specimen. Now, Dr. Lysenko here is talking about how the Phoenix specimen has been rejecting protocol without the Xavier specimen, because remember now, they just used the Xavier specimen, the Cerebomb, to kill the opposition. So Dr. Prostovich in response here says, harvesting the Phoenix specimen? This is the most powerful mutant that we have at our disposal. If she, and then Dr. Lysenko just cuts her off and is like, it. I think it is the only logical choice, director. If we cannot rely on the specimen to follow protocol, then we must find a way for it to be useful. With the opposition gone, the new XS unit could control, but then she cuts him off and she's like, we do not know that the opposition is gone. The riots have quieted and we have cut off the opposition's head. However, still, a headless chicken can run. Regardless, I worry that dissecting our greatest asset for parts would be premature and might, but then it's in that moment here where she gets cut off. And that's because Dr. Lysenko saw something up in the sky. And before Dr. Prostovich could even react to what it was, here comes in the Ultimate Wolverine, breaking through and breaking that glass. And then next here, he pops those claws. He sees the fear in her eyes. He lets out his roar, and then the Ultimate Wolverine, he unleashes. His very first victim here is, of course, Dr. Lysenko, right into the chest. And in the aftermath here, as he unsheathes, he looks directly here at Dr. Prostovich, and she does the only thing that she possibly could. She calls out here for the XS Sentinel. XS, protect me. And when the Wolverine turns around here and he lets out another roar, it's in this moment here where he gets hit with an optic blast, which then knocks him down to the ground. As the XS unit says, intruder, halt. Intruder, to which Ultimate Wolverine's like, yeah. So the XS unit fires another optic blast. Wolverine hops on up out of there just in time. Then the XS unit sends out another optic blast again. That one also misses. Here comes in the Ultimate Wolverine with another roar, and when he lands, he cuts off the XS unit's head. But there's one other head that he still has to worry about. But then Dr. Prostovich, she's concerned about something else. She's like, no, it can't. And as the XS unit sends out another optic blast, Dr. Prostovich says this, she's like, it's out of control. The optic blast will, which I'm assuming she meant, will go everywhere. But then it's here where the Ultimate Wolverine makes sure that that won't happen, because he sticks those claws directly through the head of the Cyclops. I guess we could call him Specimen at this point. So then when he's done, hands all bloody, he turns over to Dr. Prostovich and is like, you got a lot of lives that you owe me. And it's here when Dr. Prostovich, she's trying to plead. She's like, I'll do whatever you say. And he's like, ain't that a trip? You're going to take me to the woman whose voice I heard in my head. And you're going to take me to the Phoenix specimen. So she brings him down the elevator and then she enters in her code. Then the computer responds back in Russian saying, yes, one moment, please. Ultimate Wolverine, once again, he pops his claws and he's like, I'm going to keep these here till I see where we're going. Call it a contingency. And as she tries to reassure him, like, I'm going to do it. I'm doing what you asked, please. And he's like, well, guess I got me some trust issues. So as they go on in, Ultimate Wolverine, he starts sniffing. And he's like, something smells rotten down here. And as Dr. Prosovich tries to plead one more time again, Ultimate Wolverine's like, I guess you ain't noticed. You ain't in a position to ask for favors. So then he throws her and he's like, go open the door. So she goes. She presses the button. Ding, ding. And as the doors open up here, Dr. Prosovich, she walks further in with the Ultimate Wolverine. And she's like, Winter Soldier, meet the Phoenix specimen. So Wolverine's like, yo, what are you doing to her? To which Dr. Prosovich says, she's like, she's one of the most powerful mutants I've ever come across. We used her as an antenna sending out signals to control our various agents. You were one of them. And the Ultimate Wolverine in response, he's like, you still talk like we ain't creatures with thoughts and feelings or souls, but it should be you up there. You're the least human of everyone in this room. Lower her now. So just like that, Dr. Prosovich, he goes over, and then brings down the Phoenix specimen. And as she drops down, Wolverine, he goes over, he frees her, takes off the helmet, takes off the handguards, I'm assuming. And then he says, howdy, lady. I heard your voice in my head. Even though I was doing awful things, terrible things, it was the one thing that centered me, made me feel home. I can't describe it exactly. But then before he could finish that thought, he's like, hold on a second. Sniff, sniff. What's that smell? Do you smell like? Almost smells like. And then that's what we see, a gulp. And when we turn around, we see as Magik has her sword directly into Dr. Prosovich. And in response here to Ultimate Wolverine's query, she says, brimstone? Question mark. And I can only imagine in this moment that maybe the Ultimate Wolverine thought or was hoping that at least Nightcrawler had somewhat survived due to that smell. But then Illyana Rasputin, she continues. She's like, Director Prosovich, you are helping the enemy steal Republic property. Did you really think that you could walk away from this unscathed? And then here comes Colossus walking on in here with his heavy feet. Whoomp, whoomp. And Wolverine is like, man, this is a hell of a time for a family reunion. To which that pisses off Colossus. He's like, family? Whomp, whomp, whomp. Do not speak to me of family. Whomp, whomp, whomp. And if you can't tell by now, yes, I love saying whomp, whomp, whomp. So then Colossus charges in, man, and he just like clocks Wolverine directly in the face and then follows up with a kick right to the gut. And as he's holding up Wolverine, he's saying to Illyana, he's like, this was once our most fearsome asset. This puny thing. And then Illyana responds back. She's like, I almost feel sorry for him, brother. First, we kill his playmates, then his doctor. And Colossus continues on. He's like, Tisk, to think of the resources that we spent on this failure. So small. But it's here when Ultimate Wolverine begins to fight back. He pops those claws again and he's like, F you, big boy. And then knocks Colossus back. And Colossus, all high and mighty, is like, you dare? To which Ultimate Wolverine's like, oh, come on, you two facets, bleep, as he beckons for them to come and charge at him. So that's exactly what they do. They both launch. And Wolverine, this man's ready for it. He's like, make my effing day. And then we get this dope shot, man, where like Illyana's sword, it clanks off of Ultimate Wolverine's claws. And then we see where he also dodged Colossus at the same time. This is phenomenal. Love this shot right here. But then right after that, man, Colossus is like, yo, I'm tired of this nonsense. To which Illyana's like, brother, you forget the Winter Soldier is a wild beast, and a wild beast must be tamed by its master. So it's here where she sends out these tentacles here that just wrap up Ultimate Wolverine's arms. and he's screaming, "Rah!" But he can't get himself loose. And Ileana, she's all too pleased. She's like, "See, you can be tamed. Brother, do you have anything to say to this creature?" And it's here where Colossus, once again, he goes over and then he picks up Ultimate Wolverine. But then something happens here, because in this moment, he's like, "Sister, I cannot move." And then he begins to clutch and grab his head, and he's like, "My head," as Ileana's like, "Yo, what's going on with you?" And then we see this force that begins to hit him as he's like, "I can't." And Ileana's like, "Brother, what is happening?" And he's like, "It burns." And when we turn around to see, we see the Phoenix in all her glory. Bro, this is so fire right now. This is so fire. And Wolverine's like, "Oh crap." And it's here where we begin to see where Phoenix is frying Colossus's head, like, oh my gosh. And Ileana's like, "Brother, tell me what to do." And he's just like, "Go, run, sister, run, save our family." And as he says that, this dude's head just completely gets fried as Ileana is just forced to look and watch on. And then in this moment, we get this amazing shot here of the Phoenix as she says, "Go, flee, child." And in my head, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know, why don't just like take her out too? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you really want to play these games? But they're cooking so far, so I just let them cook. So then she finishes off by saying, "Be gone." And as Ileana is running away, she's like, "I go, witch. For my brother, I go." And with tears in her eyes, she's like, "But this is not over." And then we see here what is left of Colossus's face. So then in the aftermath of this here, you know, Jean, she does her Jean thing, she faints. And of course, once again, here is Wolverine right there to catch her. And he's like, "Hey, come on, let's get out of here." And as he's carrying her here through the doors, what we see is where Jean begins to set everything in there on fire. And that's where the narration for Wolverine comes in again. He's like, "Not long ago, I performed a ritual to right myself and the world. Can't say it got rid of all the bad, but I felt clean coming out of it. As we walk out of this place that took our bodies, our minds, and warped them, turned them against us, against our friends, I get a similar feeling. I don't know if it'll get rid of all the bad, but it will go a long way to helping. And a little helps better than none at all. I've learned that the hard way. It's funny, I don't think I'm the only one feeling that way, but that broken record plays again and again. War and peace, peace and war, a dance between the two. One leads, the other follows. But for how long can people take the bad as a matter of course without wondering if there's something better, something else? We got a habit of not tossing the record when it's broke. We like to try and fix things, find those same grooves, even if we know it ain't possible. Maybe that's the deja vu I keep talking about. Just a magic trick, an illusion. Maybe I'm tricking myself now, but I like to think this is something different, something new. Look at me, another broken record, but maybe I like it that way. How's that for deja vu? And just like that, the next time that we're going to be picking up here on Ultimate Wolverine, we are going to be in Ultimate Endgame. But overall, what did you think here about the conclusion of this arc? Leave it down below. Would love to hear your thoughts. I personally kind of still want to see another round here. I wish that we had gotten to see an Ultimate Wolverine take out Dr. Prosevich. Like, I think this man is owed that revenge, right? Either way, let me know down below here in the comments. Also, don't forget to leave a like here on this video for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. Also, check out our links in the description here, one where you can join our Discord. There's also our Keepin It Comic website. Also, if you like what we're doing here and you would like to support us a little bit further, also consider becoming a YouTube channel member or joining us there on Patreon. We appreciate you so much. And as always, thank you so much for kicking it with Keepin It Comic. Bye.